Well, news came out this morning regarding Wales Football Now, and it's about the manager. Na 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 na, na 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 na, way hey hey, goodbye. Come on, Robert Page has been sacked as Wales manager. Right decision, and it's about time we did it. And about Rob Page's sacking, it's Wales' first sacking of a manager since God knows when, to be honest with you. I really can't remember the last time we sacked a manager, Wales-wise. Let me know in comments who was the last Wales manager to be sacked. But all I know for a fact, we haven't had a foreign manager since 1999 for Wales now. I reckon it might be quite useful to look for someone foreign, but for me, though, a foreign manager is not my first choice. It's either one of Austin Roberts or Craig Bellamy. Anyway, before we kick into the managers now, we talk about Rob Page's reign. He took over in November 2020, I believe it was November 2020, when Giggs was sent to court. He was on trial for something he did really bad. I think it was about something to do with sexual assault, really. I mean, I don't really want to talk about it on camera, but yeah, we'll see. He took over as interim boss for Ryan Giggs. He managed us in the last European Championship, where he took us to the last 16, finished second in the group, draw Switzerland, beat Turkey and lost to Italy, and then we got knocked out by Denmark, which was an embarrassing 4-0 result. And then the World Cup qualifiers now. This is where things were starting to get south at first, where we managed just about scrape a win against Belarus and drew 0-0 with Estonia. But then we managed to finish second after on a group, get a home playoff tie, beat Austria in a semi-final, and then Ukraine in the final. So Rob Page led us to our first World Cup since 1958, which is something I got to give credit for, to be honest with you. But it wasn't just him that did it. It was Gareth Bale who did it as well. So yeah, but things went south from the World Cup, really, where we only turned up for 45 minutes, which was the second half against USA. 1-1 draw, and guess who scored a goal? No one other than Gareth Bale from the penalty spot, and that was the only goal Wales scored. Other than that, we were absolutely shocking. 2-0 loss to Iran and 3-0 loss to England were the other results than 1-1 draw in the USA. And for me, this is where I think he should have gone, because I was expecting us to do far better than we did at the World Cup. It was nothing but an absolute disaster for me. It was a favourable looking group, and then the Euros qualifiers now, we totally flopped that one, because I was expecting us to get top two, to be honest with a group of Croatia, Armenia, Turkey and Latvia. I mean, Turkey are a very decent team now. I really like their talents they got. Croatia, third in the recent World Cup, but they've gone on the downhill since. I mean, we took 4 points off Croatia, but we only took 1 point off Armenia, which was really embarrassing. And that's what cost us qualification, not the Poland game in the playoff final. It was the 2 Armenian games that we should have been looking back on. And yeah, it wasn't Dan James's fault that we didn't qualify. It was because of Rob Page, because his tactics were absolutely shocking throughout the qualifiers, apart from Croatia, where we won 2-1 at home. I mean, we played all right against Turkey at home as well, and we were absolutely robbed we were that game, and that could have cost us qualification. Should have had at least 3 penalties, and Turkey had a penalty for absolutely nothing, really. Drew 1-1, but even if we won that, it wasn't going to cut it anyway, because Croatia would have more points than us or something like that. So yeah, I mean, Finland in the semi-final, 4-1 win. He had his tactics pretty spot on then. But Poland, it was down to the players-wise on how we played. We played decent, but that was the players for me. Rob Page played Dan James, a right-back, out of position. David Brooks, I mean, I know he was ill, but why bring him on and then sub him back off? Dan James was also brave enough to take the penalty as well, and it was not his fault that he didn't qualify. It was Rob Page's fault. But obviously, I said something similar in a video I'd done before why Page needs to go. But following that playoff final loss to Poland, 0-0 draw against Gibraltar, which was absolutely more than embarrassing, and another embarrassing result, 4-0 defeat against Slovakia. And this was the point now, we were all getting impatient. All the fans were turning toxic in Portugal for the game against Gibraltar full time, and away in, I think it's Tirvana in Slovakia, something like that. Tirvana, I don't know how you say it, but thumped 4-0. Away fans put in a very toxic atmosphere away at Slovakia. They were mocking his phrase in transition. Wales are a team in transition. We're going in transition. Obviously sarcastic chanting and mocking it. And yeah, this was the point where he had to go. And there we go. Noel Mooney finally listened to our fans and pulled the trigger and sacked him. But yeah, on to the manager now, who to replace. As I mentioned, Austin Roberts and Craig Bellamy are the front runners for me. Craig Bellamy, he's like a Wales legend. As much as I despised him sometimes, especially when he played for Cardiff City. Obviously, I'm a Swans fan, but he would be ideal appointment, really, Craig Bellamy, because he helped Vincent Kompany. Obviously, he was assistant manager to Vincent Kompany when Burnley had about over 100 points in their title-winning season in the Championship in 2022-23, got them back to the Premier League, straight back after their relegation. The Premier League season wasn't that convincing as they went back down, and then Vincent Kompany left for Bayern Munich, which I find a bit of a strange move, to be honest with you. I reckon Craig Bellamy would probably be alright, to be honest. And any Swans fans like me say they don't want Craig Bellamy because he's used to be Cardiff, then that's absolutely pathetic. I'm sorry. No need to be club biased. Like, you cannot be club biased when it comes to international football, because that attitude is honestly pathetic. You've got to support a player, even if they play for your rivals, if they're playing for your country. Honestly, pathetic behaviour that is. But yeah, Craig Bellamy I wouldn't mind seeing as Wales manager. And for me, the number one for me is Austin Roberts. He recently helped Italian side Como back to the Serie A under the help of Cesc Fabregas as well, who was a really quality midfielder back in the day. And I think he's a man that should have replaced Chris Coleman in 2018. Or, well, 2017 even. Obviously, before the Nations League in 2018, if you know what I mean. Austin Roberts should have been the man that replaced Chris Coleman in the first place, because he knows a lot about Wales football. He knows the times we had, and he would be the man that would take us back on track. And foreign managers, I don't know who to appoint really. There'll be some decent names around. And as I said, we haven't had a foreign manager since 1999. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But Noel Mooney, get the appointment right. So yeah, if we get the appointment right, Wales football will be back in business, and hopefully for the 2026 World Cup, we'll be at least playoffs again, because with the team we got, we should be looking at fighting for the playoffs. And Euro 2028, the next edition, is in UK and Ireland, and the Principality Stadium Cardiff opens tonight. I would like to see us qualify automatically so we don't have to worry about the qualifiers, but that's one we've got to be there for. So yeah, absolutely delighted the news of Rob Page is gone. Never the right man. I was never convinced of Rob Page. I mean, even if we qualified for the World Cup, I was still not convinced of Page. So, yeah. Hopefully now we bring in the right manager and Wales football will become great again. And if you want to see more content, make sure you like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and yeah, peace.